If you saw this video, then you'll know that at one point in time, I was in the middle of 23 series. I then completed 5 series off my list, but also started a few more, so I'm now in the middle of 21 series, which is an improvement, but not by much. So it's time to get back to completing every single series I'm in the middle of. But first, I really want to tell you guys about a standalone book so you don't become like me and find yourself in the middle of 1 million book series. And that book is This Spells Love, which is a friends to lovers romance that also involves witches and magic. And this book is from Book of the Month. I also got What the River Knows this month as well. This is a historical fantasy romance, and I've never read a book by either of these authors before. I love that Book of the Month really prioritizes showcasing new and emerging authors, which is great for new authors and also great for readers to discover authors that they've never read before. And if you're not familiar with Book of the Month, they are a super popular online book subscription service, and they just launched curated audiobooks, which makes me so excited. I love audiobooks so much. I listen to audiobooks every single day. So now members can choose to get a hardcover book or an audiobook every single month. And I love that the entire Book of the Month experience is so fun. Your books arrive in this bright blue box and you get a unique bookmark. Plus they have a really fun app. I love checking the app every single month to see what that month's book selections are. Their app also has reading challenges, polls, an area where you can create your own bookshelf and TBR. And you can download the Book of the Month app or go to bookofthemonth.com to join and pick your first Book of the Month book. The best part about picking your first Book of the Month book is that it is so insanely affordable. New members can get their first new release hardcover for just $9.99 with my code GOBBLE. I would highly recommend checking out Book of the Month. You can click the link in my description to get started and use my discount code. Okay, let's get started on finishing all the series that I'm in the middle of. I am so excited to be getting back to this series of finishing every single series I'm in the middle of. Since last time, I think I finished some series, but also started more series. So will this video series of finishing all my series ever end? I don't know. It would be great at one point to get down to 0 series that I'm in the middle of, but we'll see. Anyway, I'm in my car because I'm sitting outside Barnes & Noble because it's time to go book shopping. 2 of the series that I want to get back to reading in this video, they had new books just come out that I don't own yet. One of the books literally came out today, and I feel like this fall we've just been blessed, absolutely blessed with new releases, and these 2 books are no exceptions. I'm so excited to start them. You'll have to wait till I get in Barnes & Noble and then I'll show you guys the books that I'm talking about. Let's go to Barnes and get some books. They have the new flawless covers in stock. I know a lot of people don't love these, but I really like the minimal look, and I still think they're really unique. Same with the new Magnolia Parks covers. I am a fan of these, but I know a lot of people aren't. First book successfully found. The second book I'm looking for, I can't find it anywhere, and I'm really scared they don't have it. I just got out of Barnes and they didn't have the book I was looking for. I'm so sad. I even checked online beforehand because it literally comes out today. So I was like, it's gonna sell out fast. Let me make sure online it's in stock. And then when I got there, they said the last book just got sold like 10 minutes ago. So I was so close to getting the last one. But I ended up getting one of the books on my list, Things We Left Behind. This is the last book in the Knock 'Em Out series. And then the book that was sold out is Wildfire by Hannah Grace, which is the sequel to Icebreaker. Target says that it's in stock. So we're gonna try one last time to go to Target. If Target doesn't have it, then I'll just give up and order it online. Okay, let's go to Target, and then after that, we'll head home to start some reading. They don't have it, even though it said it was in stock online. I cry. This afternoon, I got Wildfire in the mail and I already started it. I'm on page 80 and I am really loving it so far. I loved Icebreaker so much, the first book. There's just something about college romances. I always love them. I don't think I've read any college romance that wasn't at least a 4-star plus. I just look back on my college years so fondly and so nostalgically, so I just love reading about college romances. Basically, in this one, Russ and Aurora meet at a college party and they have a one-night stand, and they don't intend for it to be anything past that, but they're both working at a camp for the summer. They don't know that though. They don't know they're both working at the same camp. They show up on the first day to be in training for camp counselors and see each other, and it's so awkward. But yeah, I'm already feeling really, really obsessed with it. I made it to page 120. I am flying through this book. It's so good. The summer camp setting is so fun. Hannah Grace has such good banter. You know when you read a book and it makes you want to stay up late, makes you want to lose sleep over the book? That's what I'm starting to feel with this book, which is so exciting because I feel like I haven't felt that way with a book in a little while. Good morning. It's a few days later and I'm on page 306. So we're almost done. I have like 80 pages left and I'm honestly just loving everything about this book so far. Russ is so sweet, which I love in a book boyfriend. He's definitely different from Nate, the book boyfriend in the first book, Icebreaker, who's more of like the Mr. Popular hockey player kind of guy. Like, love Nate and Russ, but they are very different, which I do appreciate that we get a very different story from Icebreaker. I was worried with the camp setting that we were gonna focus on the kids and have a ton of side plots with like camp activities, but we don't, which I'm glad about. We really focus on the romance, and the side plot we do get is with both Russ and Aurora's own tough relationships with their families, and I love that we have this rich side plot that gives us a ton more info into their personal lives and family life. I think it just adds so much more depth to the characters and the whole story. And since they both have really tough relationships with their families, they can really relate on that. I finished the book. I loved it so much. 4.5 stars. It's fun, it's spicy, but it also has so much depth and heart. It also just has perfect summer vibes, especially if you went to summer camp as a kid. I feel like this book would feel so nostalgic to you. I cannot wait for the next book in the series to come out. I'm so curious who will be our main character in the next book. I hope it's Henry that's the main character in the next book, but I would be happy with anybody. For our next book and the next series that I'm trying to finish, I actually have a book on hold at the library that I need to pick up. Today's the last day I can pick it up, so this is perfect timing, and then that will bring us to series number 2 for this video. Oh, and I should move the Maple Hills series from the series I'm in the middle of to the coming soon section. It's kind of rough being in a series where the new books are still coming out, so it's gonna take a while before I can fully check this series off my list, since I have no idea how many books are gonna be in the series and they're still coming out. But it's nice to move it off the main list because I can't work on finishing the series anymore until the next book comes out. Okay, let's go to the library. I just got to the library and the book that I'm picking up at the library is Legendary, which is the second book in the Caraval series. I love this series so much, and I actually started listening to the audiobook like a week ago, so I am, it says 53% of the way through the audiobook, which is chapter 22. And the series is by Stephanie Garber. I'm also in the middle of the Once Upon a Broken Heart series by Stephanie Garber, and I love her writing so much, so much. I'm obsessed. She writes such cool, magical worlds, but her writing style is also super magical. Okay, let's go to the library. Just got out of the library and got Legendary. I love all these covers. They perfectly capture like how like dark and mysterious these books are. My favorite thing about this series is you have no idea what's real. If you're not familiar with the series at all, it basically centers around Caraval, which is this magical game, this magical competition, and there's actors in the game, there's a prize, a kind of storyline you follow, but you never know what's a part of the game versus what's real. And in the first book, there were so many things that I was surprised were real and weren't real, so I thought I would go into book 2 with a good sense of what was real versus what's a part of the game, but I have no idea. Like, reading everything, I'm like, everything seems real, but surely some of it is just a part of the game, a part of the plot. But it's messing with my head in the best way. I love it. I cannot stop reading this book. It's so late and I'm so sleepy. I just hit page 400, so I'm almost done with the book and I think I'm gonna finish it tonight, which I did not expect. I thought I was gonna read this over the next few days. Like, I have just done so much reading today and I have to finish it. The ending of Caraval was so climactic. I was on the edge of my seat and I'm feeling the exact same way with Legendary. That's honestly one of my favorite things about this series, of finishing all the series I'm in the middle of, is if I read the first book in a series and I don't like it, I won't continue the series. So you know that every single book I'm reading in these videos I'm just obsessed with because I chose to continue the series on past the first one. So I feel like every book I read in finishing every series in the middle of is like a 4, 4.5, or 5-star read for sure. And I think this one is gonna be 5 stars. Last night I finished Legendary. It was so good. The ending was so surprising. 5 stars for sure for this book and the whole series. Just literally everything about this book. It's so magical. I love all the love interests, especially Dante. He's my favorite. He's so mysterious and I just want to know every single thing about him. And I love that the first book focuses on Scarlet. This book focuses on Donatella, and I feel like the ending of this book set it up for them both to really be focused on in the last book, to both get their final ending. So I think we'll get a bit of each sister in finale. And yeah, I was thinking about switching over to Things We Left Behind, but my head is just in this series, so I think I'm gonna wait until my hold for finale is ready at my library. I think it's gonna be ready like tomorrow. So I'll see you guys when it's time for me to pick up finale at the library. I finally got finale. It's been about a week since I picked this book up from the library. I've been focusing on filming some other videos, but I'm excited to be back to this video and reading finale. Throughout the past week, I've been listening to the audiobook, and I made it to chapter 24 in the audiobook, which it says is 40% of the way through the book. I found chapter 24. I'm on page 179, and this book is kind of big. It's a total of 470 pages. I was gonna say my goal is to finish this book today, but that might be a little bit unrealistic. I didn't realize how thick this book is. I am still loving this book, but I am liking it a bit less than the first 2 books, which maybe is an unpopular opinion because this book is rated the highest out of the trilogy on Goodreads. I just really loved Caraval in the first 2 books. That's like the magical competition, and I just think that was so unique and so cool, and they don't go to Caraval in this book, which maybe would have been repetitive if they attended Caraval for a 3rd time, but I kind of miss Caraval. That was like the coolest part of the series, I think. But there's still so much going on in this book, and I have no idea how they're gonna wrap it all up. You guys, it's like 2 pages later. I'm on page 207 and we just got the craziest reveal ever. Maybe I take back what I said. Maybe this book is gonna be just as good as the other 2. I hope. I've officially read 100 pages today. Donatella is my favorite sister, although I love them both so much. It's the next day. I've been reading all morning and I made it to page 434. So I have like 30 pages left. So time to finish the book. It's also a really gloomy PJ kind of day, which is the perfect just laying in bed and reading all day. It's finally cold too in Texas. It's October 31st. Oh, happy Halloween. October 31st that I'm filming this, and it's like our first cold day of fall, which is crazy. I finished finale. I'm torn between 4 stars or 4.5 stars. Like, on the one hand, this is my least favorite book in the series. I liked the first 2 better just because, like I said, I just really love them going to Caraval and we didn't have them attend Caraval in this book, but it was still so good. 100% a 5-star series overall. The ending I loved. It definitely surprised me. I didn't know what was going to happen. I love Donatella with my whole heart. I love both the love interests. I think I'm gonna say 4.5 stars. Like, it's such a good series. Stephanie Garber has another series called the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, which you're supposed to read after this series. I didn't do that. I read the first 2 books and Once Upon a Broken Heart first. And now finishing this series, I wish I had read this one first, just because we find out so much about Jax and the Fates in the Caraval trilogy, which is a huge part of Once Upon a Broken Heart. I feel like it's just made me see him in such a different light because we get so much backstory on him. He's a lot more of a villain in this series than I expected. Anyway, let's do the very satisfying part of moving Caraval. Not even moving, deleting Caraval off my series list. That's crazy. That's really exciting, but also kind of sad because that means it's over. Okay, let's go get the next book off my shelves. Oh my gosh. What? Oh my gosh, okay. This book is almost 600 pages. I did not know that. I know that all of Lucy Score's books, especially in this series, are thick. They're slow burns, which I love, but I swear the others were like 400 pages, almost 600 pages, and the audiobook is 19 hours. That's wild. That's kind of crazy, and honestly makes me scared because I have been hearing some mixed reviews on this book, which is a bummer, and a lot of people's complaints was that the slow burn was just too slow. Everyone I saw even giving it kind of mixed reviews still gave it 4 stars. Oh, hello. I'm gonna try and go into this with no expectations because I don't want any bad reviews I've heard to like soil my opinion of it. Let's get reading. I kind of want to go sit at a coffee shop somewhere and read, get like a hot drink because it's so cold today, but I think I'm gonna read here a little more and then we might head to Starbucks and get a hot chocolate. Oh my gosh, I just went to film the shot that you literally saw where I open up this book and I just noticed that it's signed by Lucy Score. I had no idea. How cool. Okay, I'm all ready to go to Starbucks to sit and read. I got a white hot chocolate. I probably look so dumb right now, but I didn't even realize white hot chocolates were a thing. Like, it never crossed my brain that you could have white hot chocolate, which like you can have normal hot chocolate. So why couldn't you have white hot chocolate? I just didn't know white hot chocolate existed, but I'm very glad it does because it's very yummy. I'm very much enjoying this book so far. All the seats inside at Starbucks were full, so I had to sit outside, which I was scared at first because it's cold, but it was actually really nice to have a warm drink and a sweater and sit outside. If you're not familiar with this book, it's childhood friends to enemies to lovers, which like is the best trope ever. And there's some reason why they started hating each other, but we don't know why. And this is literally the 3rd book in the series. And we have known that they hate each other for the whole series, but we still don't know why. And I'm just so excited to find out the reason why. I'm scared we're not gonna find out till page like 500, but that's okay. The anticipation is good. It's what keeps you reading. Okay, I'm gonna head back home. Not sure if I'm gonna read more today or not, but I'll see you this evening or tomorrow. It's like 3 p.m. and so far today I've read a page 208. I've literally just been reading basically the whole day and I'm really liking the book so far. I really have no complaints. One of my favorite things so far is that we have flashbacks to when they met growing up as kids, which I love, and I for some reason didn't expect that. I should have expected it because it's childhood friends to lovers. I always love dual timelines. I think it's very fun that we get basically like 2 plots in one because we get the story of them meeting and growing up together and the present day story. And I also feel like I just get such a fuller picture of characters when I get to see what they were like as kids and teens. You can just describe a character's backstory, but actually getting to see that backstory play out, I think just hits harder and makes me just get to know the characters way more. Anyway, I have to return Legendary and Finale to the library today. So I think I'm gonna go return these to the library and then sit there and read for a little bit. Okay, let's go to the library. read to page 255 in the library, and I stopped here because I'm scared. This is one of the flashbacks, and Lucian definitely had a tough life growing up, and whenever we get in the flashbacks, I get scared that something bad's gonna happen, and it's gonna be really sad. Like, I want to know why Lucian and Sloane had some kind of falling out, but I also am scared to know the reason. So I'm like, what if it's really sad? I don't know. Other than potential sad parts coming, I have been really loving it. I've been eating this book up. The tension, so good. The reason why enemies to lovers is my favorite trope is because the tension. I always love that quote from The Hating Game. I can't remember how it's worded. Hating someone feels disturbingly similar to being in love with them. Do they hate each other? Are they insanely attracted to each other? Do they maybe love each other? All of the above. Enemies to lovers just creates the best romantic tension. Anyway, I'll probably stop here for today. But yeah, I don't feel like it's moving too slow so far, but we still have a good chunk of book left. Good morning. It's like 3 days later, I think. I went on a weekend trip, so that's why I haven't been filming the last few days, but I read a lot, and I'm on page 467. So I have like just over 100 pages left, and I'm still loving the book so freaking much. We found out a while ago why Lucian and Sloane started to hate each other, and it was a really sad reason like I thought, but also I'm glad it was a big reason because I've read a few like childhood friends to enemies to lovers books, and I feel like it's kind of a hard line when you have to make characters hate each other, because sometimes if the reason isn't big enough, then it feels silly that they became enemies, but sometimes if the reason is too big, like one of the characters did something really wrong, then I don't like the character anymore. So I think this reason was sad, but it was a big reason that didn't make me dislike either of them. So it was like the perfect middle conflict. But yeah, I'm loving Lucian and Sloane so much. Lucian is great. He's that perfect, like protective, I'm always watching out for you, taking care of you, even if I hate you kind of guy, which I love. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna get back to reading. Oh my gosh, I'm on page 504 and something just happened that I did not see coming in a million years. I love that this entire series has a crime plot that is a subplot, but still like a good chunk of every single book. And the same crime plot goes through the entire series. So I'm assuming in this last book, we're gonna get like a big finale conclusion to this whole 3-series subplot. I think that is so cool and unique, especially for a romance series. A lot of times we have like mini side plots, but I feel like they're just like friend drama or family issues or things like that. I think it's so cool if this is a crime side plot. Like, how fun. I finished the book. It was so good. Definitely 5 stars. I love this one so much. I feel like I've already pretty much said everything I love about this book. I love the two main characters, Lucian and Sloane, so much. I love that we have great side plots. We get this big cast of characters, small town, and especially by this 3rd book in the series, we know all the characters so well, all the side characters, all the like local small town businesses. So it just feels like this big, full, and very real world, which is really cool. And yeah, I'm just a huge fan of Lucy Score's writing. I haven't read any Lucy Score book that I didn't love and give 4+ stars, so I'm definitely going to continue to be buying and reading her books. I can't decide if I like this book or the first book, Things We Never Got Over, better. I think I'm going to say Things We Never Got Over is my number 1. This one is my number 2, but very, very close second, like almost tied. And then the second book is my 3rd favorite in the series. Okay, well, that is the end of this video. I can delete this series from my list, so then I will be in the middle of 17 series that I can actively finish because the books are out. Still so many series. Like, I need to go on a starting series ban so I can knock this list down. All right, with that, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.